You won't believe this news. A publicly traded company is launching an XRP strategy. It is a massive deal. I will break it all down for you. And the Department of Labor is rolling back restrictions which prevented 401ks from investing in Bitcoin and crypto. This will bring in loads of capital, and billions of dollars of real estate is being tokenized on the Avalanche blockchain, and Pakistan is launching a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Game theories playing out. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I want to quickly touch on Bitcoin's price because some people seem to be worried. Oh no, Bitcoin's pulling back a bit. Right now at the time of recording, it's sitting just below $108,000. And I wrote about this in my newsletter today, folks, and that is Bitcoin. What we've been watching on the daily chart is that its RSI was in the overbought zone. So a natural pullback is healthy here, and it's part of the market cycles. It doesn't mean the bull market's over. It doesn't mean the run up is over. Just we have to be patient, let the RSI cool down, and then it's going to bounce and we're going to keep going higher. So patience is the key. As always, here's what analyst Bob Lucas had to say today, and he shared a great chart. He said, "We should all welcome a healthy little Bitcoin pullback to complete the first 60-day cycle. They aid in refueling a sustainable bull trend." So it's all healthy activity here, no invalidation of the bull market. So I don't want you guys to worry. And I know some people are like, look at all the great news we got this week, and yet the market's pulling back. Yes, because positive news, as I've been harping on forever, does not equate to price pump. Get that out of your mind. Whoever told you that, they lied to you. What matters is where the market's at in its trends, both from the micro and macro. And from the micro right now, a bit of a cool down because things were overheated. Bitcoin did a big run up to $112,000, new all-time highs, hit some resistance, cooling down. It's going to move again and alts will follow. Rinse and repeat. So it doesn't matter what big news comes out tomorrow, whatever it is, until we come out of this respective trend and flip the other way. That's when things are going to be pumping. And remember, many times news is priced into the moves. So you have to understand that nuance. It's not simply, oh, positive news must mean the market must move. No, that's a very emotional take on the market. And we don't want to invest in emotions. We want to look at the data and the charts and the on-chain information, the macro and so forth to form our thesis. So we're still on track. Nothing to panic about. Global liquidity continues to rise. Bitcoin is trailing it. And things are looking good overall. Folks, look at this news. This is so bullish. The U.S. Department of Labor rescinds guidance against Bitcoin in 401k plans. They released this today. So under the Biden administration, where Elizabeth Warren was the one running the show and doing the whole anti-crypto army thing, a lot of these restrictions got put into place. Well, today they put out the following guidance: 401k plan investments in cryptocurrencies. On March 10, 2022, the Department of Labor issued Compliance Assistance Release number 2002-01 regarding 401k plan investments in cryptocurrencies. This release memorializes the department's decision to rescind the guidance in full. The 2022 release directed plan fiduciaries to exercise extreme care before they consider adding a cryptocurrency option to a 401k's plan's investment menu for plan participants. The standard of extreme care is not found in the Employee Retirement Income Security Act and differs from ordinary fiduciary principles thereunder. Folks, all that jargon is to say, yeah, that was not the right thing to do, and now we're rolling it back. So we're seeing a lot of the nonsense that was done by Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren's cronies in the different government agencies is now being rolled back. So folks, this is a big one because it will allow more capital to flow into the crypto asset class. And I often tell you guys that, many of these big institutions are risk averse. They want to avoid risk. So even if there's something that's not necessarily law, but a guidance that's put out like this, they're not going to take this step because they don't want to get a lawsuit. They don't want to get in trouble. They're trying to avoid problems and they just want to keep as much of their revenue and profits as possible, right? But when you remove these things, oh boy, it opens up the floodgates. This is going to allow many enterprises, corporates, businesses, and much more to participate in crypto and, with the 401ks, fiduciaries and RIAs and so forth. Guys, I don't think I need to explain it further how bullish this is. So as you can see where things are headed, a lot of capital will be flowing into this market. And when we actually get crypto legislation in place, stablecoin and market structure, folks, I'm talking massive amounts of capital flowing into this market. So bullish times are ahead. Make sure you have the macro outlook. Now, I just mentioned Elizabeth Warren, and funny enough, David Sachs, who's the White House crypto czar, he was interviewed on Fox Business or Fox News this week, and he said the following, folks, that Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration, talking about the Biden administration. Now, he said this in context with Elizabeth Warren, not Biden, was the real force behind the administration's anti-crypto agenda. What was I saying all last year? And some people were criticizing me. I told you guys, it wasn't Biden. You can't say Biden was in cognitive decline on one hand and then say he's the mastermind with attacking crypto. When have we even heard Biden say one thing about crypto or Bitcoin? He never said anything. And it was Elizabeth Warren. I told you guys, I spoke to people in Washington, D.C. They told me what was up. Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the race for the Democrats when Biden was running. And the promise was he would put her in that financial advisory seat, the oversight seat, right? So she had a lot of power under the Biden administration. And of course, she wrongfully attacked crypto. And as I was telling you guys, the people in DC that I was talking to, told me she had people in different agencies, the FDIC, the Fed, and much more, and she was pulling the strings. And the reason why this grandma was doing all of that is because she was being lobbied by the big banks, Jamie Dimon and so forth, who are getting disrupted. Notice how the big banks are here now trying to build and adopt, right? Because money was leaving their investment accounts. You could put your money in stable coins or stake it and earn a higher yield than the bullshit return they would give you, in your checking or savings account. And people were using stable coins for payments. They didn't have to go through the bank. So massive disruption. So what did the banks do? Lobby Elizabeth Warren. And she's not who you think she is, the sweet little grandma who's anti-establishment, anti-banks. No, that's just a facade. And that's what I learned, folks, in talking to people in DC about these things. And here it is, David Sachs confirming that. So it's interesting how this all played out. Now, let's move ahead. Huge news around XRP. If you are an XRP holder, this news will make you bullish. VivoPower raises $121 million to launch XRP Treasury strategy with Saudi royal backing. Folks, this comes a day after we talked about Ethereum doing something similar, where SharpLink launched an Ethereum Treasury strategy and Joe Lubin was added to the board. So let me give you the details here. VivoPower International raised $121 million in a private share placement to focus on a digital asset treasury strategy centered around XRP. The fundraising was led by Saudi Prince Abdul Aziz bin Turki Al Saud. I probably butchered his name, but that's a long name, man, right? With former Ripple executive Adam Trademan joining as chairman of the board of advisors. Many of you may recall I interviewed Adam Trademan a few times about 4 years ago when he was head of SBI Ripple Asia. And VivoPower aims to be the first publicly traded firm to have an XRP strategy amid a soaring trend of firms adding digital assets to their treasuries. Folks, what have I been saying? It starts with Bitcoin. It will then go to altcoins. Here you go. That's what I was saying for months and months, right? As we saw the trend growing for Bitcoin adoption as a treasury strategy, it wouldn't just stop at Bitcoin. In yesterday's news, we talked about Ethereum, and I mentioned that Ethereum, I think, if they were able to get it right, if those folks stake some of the ETH, that's a strong incentive because you can earn passive income. But at the end of the day, they're going to expand to other assets. Eventually, they're going to add multiple assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. They'll do a basket, right? We could absolutely see that. But look at what's happening here. Huge news. So, for those of you who don't know, Vivo International is a Nasdaq listed energy company, and the fact that you have a Saudi prince investing is massive. It's just incredible news here, folks. And this is why I'm bullish on XRP. And I'm going to try to get Adam Trademan back on the podcast to talk about this because I haven't spoken to him in a few years. And this is incredible news. So if you are an XRP holder, very bullish news. Once again, look at where the puck is headed to, and that's where we're skating to, folks. This is great. Now, in more XRP and altcoin news, eToro adds Doge, XRP, SHIB, and 9 others in US crypto push after Nasdaq debut. So eToro went public on the Nasdaq, and now they're offering more tokens. At one point, they were looking to leave the United States, and that was because the SEC was handing out Wells notices and lawsuits, and I don't blame them, right? They were like, let's get out of here. But, things have changed, and look at what they're doing. They're listing more tokens. So more on and off ramps, more liquidity to come into the market, more options for people to invest in crypto. So eToro, I interviewed the CEO Yoni Asia years ago. I'm going to try to get him back on as well. So just great stuff here, folks. Very bullish news. And the firm eToro raised $310 million and went public on the Nasdaq under the ticker eToro. So that happened just earlier this month. It's a big milestone for them. So incredible stuff here. Now, look at this news for Avalanche. And many of you know the native token on the Avalanche blockchain is Avax. I'm an Avax token holder. I'm bullish on this project. And many of you know I live in the state of New Jersey, right outside of New York City. New Jersey's Bergen County to tokenize $240 billion in real estate deeds on the Avalanche network. Folks, what have I been telling you? They're going to tokenize everything, real estate, stocks, commodities, you name it, all on the blockchain. I've been telling you the governments, the economies, the markets will all run on blockchain rails. This is huge adoption news. Incredible. I mean, just think about this. They're going to put deeds on the blockchain. And this is not some small county here. This is a big one right in New Jersey, obviously right close to New York. So Bergen County, New Jersey plans to digitize all property deeds on the Avalanche network under a 5-year agreement with blockchain software firm Balcony. The initiative aims to simplify and secure property record management for nearly 1 million residents across 70 municipalities. The move aligns with a broader trend of tapping blockchain rails for record keeping of all kinds of assets for operational gains, also known as tokenization. Folks, the future is being built right before your eyes. It's incredible. And it won't be just New Jersey. It'll be every state. They're going to do it, folks. And eventually, the building itself will be tokenized where you can buy tokens for the building and invest in that way. Now, the infrastructure and regulations are going to have to be there, of course. But folks, if there are certain properties and buildings that are tokenized, I'm going to be buying it. Because if it's, some exclusive area, beachfront property or somewhere in Manhattan, what's the value is going to keep going up. It's in high demand, right? And real estate is something we all need. We need shelter. We need to live, right? So that's going to be something that's going to be around. And I'm going to look at those opportunities once all the details have been ironed out. But very bullish, folks. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing places in New York start doing this, Miami, Los Angeles, the big cities. This is incredible news. And folks, on that note, my sponsor, Proppy, many of you know, they are leading the charge with putting real estate on chain. I'm a Proppy token holder. I have been since 2018. I saw this project and I saw they were ahead of the curve in disrupting the real estate industry. So they are putting titles and deeds on the blockchain, and you can buy and sell real estate through Proppy for crypto. So no other platform offers that. And their platform is, of course, powered by blockchain. And they are a Web3 pioneer. They've been doing this since 2017. They've facilitated over $4 billion in transactions. They use Coinbase for the crypto escrow service for the buying and selling. And as mentioned, they're putting deeds and much more in the blockchain. They've created NFTs for properties. So it's incredible. And they have a great promotion going on where you can earn some free property tokens by just simply signing up, referring a friend, watching their vision video, and much more. And once again, I'm a property token holder, so I'm bullish on this project long term because I see, once again, where the puck is heading, and that's where I'm skating to, and that's why I hold Proppy. I'm very bullish on this project. So if you'd like to learn more about Proppy, visit the link in the description. Now, folks, look at this news. Today at the Bitcoin conference, a representative from the country of Pakistan said they are establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Let me play the clip for you.
Today, I will announce that the Pakistani government is setting up their own government-led Bitcoin strategic reserve. And we want to thank the United States of America again, because we are getting inspired from them. And this wallet, the National Bitcoin Wallet, is not for speculation or hype. We will be holding these Bitcoins and we will never ever sell them.
Incredible. And notice what he said at the end there. This is not for speculation. They're going to hold the Bitcoin and not sell it. We are seeing the tipping point for countries and nations adopting crypto. As I've been saying, the big domino, which is the United States, has fallen, and game theory is playing out here. So other countries are going to start, trying to adopt this as well. So I believe Bitcoin as digital gold will sit alongside regular gold as far as reserves that central banks hold, and you see it happening. The United States has already created a strategic reserve. They're using the Bitcoin they already have from seizures and much more. And Senator Lummis and some folks are looking to introduce a bill where the United States can buy Bitcoin. But as I said in yesterday's podcast, that may not happen this cycle. The buying part may happen maybe next cycle. But we have the reserve set up with the existing assets, and that's really great. So, folks, hope you see what's happening here. Once again, game theory. Watch the other dominoes fall. It's going to happen. No one wants to be last. And this is why I keep telling you guys, make sure you understand what Bitcoin is and the scarcity and how the network functions. And while it may not be as fast and it may not be the cheapest to use, that's not its swim lane. Don't get it confused with trying to move money like stablecoins. Of course, Bitcoin can't compete with stablecoins, but Bitcoin is the most decentralized asset. It is the asset with the most scarcity, only 21 million, and many have been lost already. And you have buy-in from countries and governments as well as big institutional investors, BlackRock and all that. I think you guys already know that, right? So this is why I've been saying I'm holding Bitcoin. There's some I'm going to sell for profit because I need to do things in my life, but there's some I am not selling forever. It's going to go to my daughter. And you don't have to hold one whole Bitcoin. You can hold just some of it. I use that as my foundational asset. If you're building the house, you want to have a good foundation. And we know Bitcoin leads the market. It gets the most liquidity. So that's why I hold some of that asset. And even if some of my altcoins don't perform, I know the Bitcoin in my portfolio will perform. It's been the best performing asset over the past 10 to 12 years. Certainly altcoins outperform it in moments. But when you look at it from the macro, Bitcoin has outperformed them overall. So this is incredible news, folks. It's mind-blowing what is taking place. Now, Telegram, which is, of course, the blockchain-enabled chat software and much more. I'm a user on Telegram, and they have the Ton blockchain and so forth. It's great. So Telegram to raise $1.5 billion through bond sale backed by BlackRock and Citadel. Look at the names who are getting involved here, folks. It's incredible. So the proceeds will be used to repurchase debt from Telegram's earlier bond issuance in 2021. The firm reported a $540 million profit on $1.4 billion in revenue in 2024. Incredible stuff. And some folks are saying this could be something that leads to maybe an IPO. And we'll see. It's interesting. Let's see if BlackRock and these guys, Citadel, are behind it. Something big's coming. So Telegram originally developed Layer 1 network Ton before making it an independent operation. In April, Tokenization from Libre said it plans to tokenize $500 million worth of Telegram debt on Ton as Telegram bond fund. So very interesting stuff here. So let's see what they decide to do. There's some more Telegram news because they have signed a $300 million deal with Elon Musk's XAI to integrate Grok into its messaging app. And this caused TON to spike 16%. So the deal includes a $300 million cash and equity investment from XAI and a 50% share of subscription revenue. Great partnership by them. Smart move on both sides, in my opinion. And watch out for TON. I may have to look at adding this to my portfolio. I'll let you guys know if I do, but there's only so much you can invest. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. Recently I added Ondo to my portfolio and I'm like, man, I got a lot of coins. I need to probably consolidate, but we'll see how they do. I didn't put a ton of money into Ondo because I bought the majority of my coins in the bloody bear market, and those are up significantly. So right now, where we're at in the market, if you invest now, there may not be as high of a return than the coins you bought in the bloody bear market when everything was down. Not to say you're not going to make money; it's just the returns are not going to be as great, if you get what I'm saying. So huge news here. Now, look at this. Conduit raises $36 million to expand stablecoin-based cross-border payments beyond SWIFT. A lot of folks getting involved in the stablecoin race here. Things are heating up. We talked about Circle looking to do their IPO. They filed with the New York Stock Exchange. Ripple was trying to buy Circle. And then you're seeing stablecoin legislation is on the cusp of getting through the Senate. And of course, Trump's going to sign it into law. So everybody's trying to get their ducks in a row here to prepare for clarity for them to innovate and expand without having to worry. So there's a lot of money to be made here. And it's interesting to see these different companies jumping in the race here. So Conduit, a Boston-based payments firm, raised $36 million in a Series A round to expand its global payment infrastructure using stablecoins. The funding round was led by Dragonfly and Altos Ventures, with participation from Circle Ventures and Digital Currency Group. Conduit's platform combines crypto and traditional finance systems, offering real-time payments and significant savings in settlement time and fees. See the direction the puck is heading here? Folks, this technology is here to stay. There are many out there listening to FUD and negativity and not educating themselves and researching. They would rather watch Netflix and scroll on social media versus sitting down and seeing this massive paradigm shift that is taking place and getting educated about it and taking a bet so that they can make money off of it. But this is the nature of markets and in some ways life, right? The early bird gets the worm. So you got to put the work in, educate yourself, or you'll get left behind wondering, how come I wasn't able to make money? How did I miss the train? Well, first you got to pay attention, and then you got to, stop watching some Netflix and then go do the research. It's so important. And I know many of you know that. That's why you're here. But, for the new people who are tuning in, I want to make sure that they understand this is not going to the casino and playing the slot machine. This is not playing the lottery. You got to put some work in here and educate yourself. So folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my newsletter from today and check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every aspect of the crypto market. So be sure to check it out. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.